Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Mike McLaughlin. How's it going, buddy?
Very good, man. How are you?
Yes, I am good. We've made it to episode some 41.
Absolutely fantastic. Both of us were just singing the Hell song there when we realised.
As a band, don't they just have so many good songs? Like that's a good song. Still Waiting. It's just such a good song.
I've not listened to them in ages. I put on Does This Look Infected the other week when I've come back for holiday. It's the first time I'd listened to it in ages.
Also just supremely uncool though, right?
Very uncool, but you know what? Fuck it.
As you know, I just got back from 2 weeks staying at the in-laws before we moved into the house. So I'm staying in my wife's childhood bedroom. And I'm lying in bed and I'm looking over, and in her cupboard space that she used to have, there's still a full-size Sum 41 All Killer No Filler poster.
Yes. Brilliant.
So that tells you everything that you would need to know about Sum 41. They're the type of band that my wife would listen to, and therefore probably shouldn't be taken all that seriously. I mean, she likes Hollywood Undead, so...
I'm going to get an 11 and see if you heard in the new Sum 41.
No.
They seem to be reunited with a third guitarist.
Okay.
It's not good.
I think I remember my wife saying not good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the new song. It was them playing Metallica covers.
Right, okay.
Which was enough.
Yeah.
Considering they opened with from the Bell Tolls.
That's the kind of thing that they probably could have pulled off all that time ago, because they kind of had that thing going.
That time ago, yes.
Yeah, but it's funny, isn't it? Like when you were younger, you'd listen to bands like Metallica or whoever, and bands that have been going for 20 years, and you'd be like, oh, man, these bands have just been going for so long. Like In Me have been going for like almost 20 years now, you know? Like 20 years doesn't seem like a whole lot of time when you're our age now.
Mm-hmm. They haven't quite the trajectory of Metallica though.
Anyway, so as people are probably expecting at this point, this podcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Ormsby Guitars. I would like the guys over at Ormsby Guitars to hurry up and send me the beautiful one of a kind that's being done for me at the moment. I can see the rage in Mike's face. Mate, ask.
That's not rage.
Ask and you shall receive. Kids, what's that saying?
Shy kids don't get sweeties.
Yeah, there you go. Shy kids don't get sweeties. We'll go with that. So, Ormsby Guitars had unfortunately, because we swore a lot in the last episode and the video quality was dreadful, I should point out, look, it looks much better now, right? Mm-hmm. We're getting there. We'll talk about that in a second. But in the last video, we talked about the new run of Ormsby Guitars, and I challenged people to go and order one, I challenged people to go and look at them and not want to order one. But unfortunately, no one saw the last video because of all the swearing. So, yeah, who knows how many people ordered them. But head on over to Ormsby Guitars. In fact, why don't I bring it up now? Look up Run 11, because they are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's one thing for me to have like a working relationship with a company. It's a different thing entirely for me to say, you know what, I want to put my hand in my pocket and I want to buy one of these right fucking now. And that's what happened when I saw Run 11. So Run 11?
I believe it's Run 11 just now, yeah.
Take a look. Cool. So you're heading over to Ormsby Guitars, you'll go up to pre-order, you will head to this beautiful button here, Run 11. I know you really, really, really like these crackle finishes.
Oh man, the red crackle finish is fucking gorgeous.
You dig that crackle finish?
The pink one, all of them, look at it, it's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, the crackle finishes don't really do anything for me, but...
That's because you're wrong.
Yeah, then you go down.
These are also ridiculous.
Oh, that red finish. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, and... parallel frets.
Mm-hmm.
And Floyd Rose. So like a classic thing. But of course, if you want the
denim,
the fan fret thing,
denim.
Just look at it. Oh, absolutely. I was thinking actually, the fan frets. Like obviously, I'm talking about the benefits of fan frets all the time. I've come up with a place where you do absolutely not want multi-scale.
Where's that?
Slide guitar, open tunings. Slide guitar, open tunings.
That's a challenge for you for when you get your guitar.
Yeah, having to constantly like tilt the angle to make sure that you're always in tune. So Ormsby Guitars, made out in Australia by Perry Ormsby. Worth checking out. Awesome guitars for a ridiculous price. You can get in on this new latest run of I want to call them Red Deads, but obviously they're not all Red Deads.
That's just because you're obsessed with the Red Dead finish.
It's just so beautiful.
That is.
What's the cost on that? You can get a 6-string for about $1,300.
Nothing.
for what you're getting, that is obscene. So head on over to Ormsby Guitars, check them out, and we'll have some of these to show for you, play for you, show and tell for you soon.
Join the Orms Bros.
Join the Orms Bros, yeah, cool. Right, before we do music related things, I should obviously also point out this isn't, I was going to say studio's looking better. Studio's actually not looking better at all.
No.
But this room we're in is starting to look better. I like the idea that in the long run, and I say long run because we probably will be in this room for a while now, that we can do it on a couch. That'd be
Back to the original format.
Yeah. We've gone full circle. We'll go back to having no audience next. No one giving a shit. So we are still in my dining room. I just painted the wall behind me so we'd have a better backdrop. We've got lights up now.
Doesn't it look much better, though?
It definitely looks better. Oh, the last episode looked rough. But, that's the whole point, right? It's the redemption arc. The Guitar Souls redemption arc. Rising from the ashes, we are. Speaking of rising from the ashes, Hellcat Molly's Out of the Ashes. That's a good album. You should check that out.
That's not bad.
Go and buy it. I need some money right now for this studio. So studio updates for those that don't follow my regular YouTube videos. And it seems to be that there's a lot of you, like there's a split between people that watch my videos and people that watch Guitar Souls videos. The studio out there, the garage, we're just having water problems at the moment. So I'm having to deal with drainage. And every single time you talk to a new contractor, a new builder, everyone's got a different idea of what you need to do to fix it. And that's really annoying because not being a professional myself, I can't tell which one is correct. You know what I mean? And I can't say you're wrong.
I don't think they could tell which is correct. They're just going on the best assumption they can make from what they can see. Yeah. So it's your luck, unfortunately.
Yep. And the latest is someone wanting to just knock the entire garage down and rebuild it from the ground up. And it's like, I get why you would look at that and say this is probably the safest solution. But it's not a cost-effective solution, is it?
No.
It's not even close to. Mate, if I had the money, sure. But, I've already put several £1,000s into what I currently have. So I'm not going to knock that all down. It's just not going to happen under any circumstances. But it's really nice to be living Tom Hanks's money pit. We'll get there. Don't worry. We will absolutely get there.
All in good time, man.
Anyway, let's talk about music-related things, right?
For a laugh, why not?
Yeah, let's talk about the... do we want to do the Gibson thing first?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So I'll bring it up and it can play... You know what? If I do... We won't be able to hear it.
Just fine.
But if I do... This...
Listen, it's not about the sound. It's just all about watching those headstocks snap.
Mate, look, they're lying on the floor. They're already snapped. So many people already will have seen this. Do that. Many people already will have seen this. Gibson. It seems that from reports, this was actually Gibson that did this.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
The Firebird X being destroyed. The thing is, there were lots of kind of conflicting reports of what was going on here.
Mm-hmm. People saying that they thought they were counterfeits. Other people saying that it was stock they couldn't shift and they just wanted rid of them. And I mean, who really knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a total waste because look at it. There's obviously a lot of money in those guitars.
Yeah.
Not that I would own one unless it was given to me for free.
Yeah, the Firebird X were dreadful. There was a lot of blowback to this video. Let me turn it down just so it's not overpowering us. There was a lot of blowback to this video. We should probably describe it, right, for those people that are listening to us in audio form.
Yes.
We're currently looking at hundreds and hundreds of Gibson Firebird X guitars lined up, and they're about to be run over by a digger. There's got to be a more effective way of disposing of guitars than this.
Especially putting the video online, allowing it to become viral, even though it's unlisted, and then not addressing it.
Well, they didn't put it online. An employee that was part of this job filmed it and is currently an ex-employee. I think it's more a case of...
oh, that's my guitar.
He filmed it because if you were on this job, you see all these other guys in the background, they're absolutely filming this, right? Because they want to go home and show their wife, go, look at what we did at work today. Has probably been fired from Gibson at some point or left because they're a shit show. And then it's gone, mind that video that I filmed. I should upload it.
There's a couple of those guitars that have survived.
It's funny. Yeah.
Those must be the only Gibsons that don't break under duress.
It's quite impressive, really, when you think about it, because when you look at a machine that big going over guitars, I just imagine that they'd be absolute dust. But
I think it's because there's so many of them. But it kind of raises the question for me, why are Gibson getting rid of the guitars that clearly work?
Why do these clearly work?
Well, they're definitely better built than the majority of Gibsons if they can survive something like that. That's a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
If you sat a Les Paul near a digger, it would probably, the headstock would just fall off.
Yeah. The thing that...
Some of these guitars, like, you look at the video, and obviously people can't see, they've clearly been run over already, and they don't look all that tarnished. Not every one of them, at least. There's 2 or 3 of them that look like, and we're talking about hundreds of guitars here.
Look like 2017 Gibsons.
Well, it looked like that was the case until I saw this digger now, what looks like skidding on them. He's just going back and forth and like sliding the guitars on the gravel.
Yeah. The thing that bugged me most about this, to be completely honest with you, was less this situation. It was more the people that complained about this.
Oh, of course you hate the whingers.
Like, do you not hate the whingers in this scenario?
I haven't heard all of their arguments.
I don't think there are any arguments. Like, oh, you should have donated these. What do you mean?
I think it's because Gibson say they give away hundreds of thousands of pounds of equipment or dollars of equipment every year to charities to help young people get into music and to learn to study and blah, blah, blah. Like,
and that hasn't changed, right? Like, the thing, if you're going to give away a guitar, don't make it a Firebird X.
Don't make it a Gibson.
That is not a guitar that a beginner wants or needs. Like, have you ever played one?
No.
Those, probably not the first ever incarnation. Let's go with that.
Yep.
It's not a spell. Probably not the first appearance of robot tuners or self-tuning guitars, but certainly the first one that I ever played. And this is back in like 2012, 2013. I played one in Frankfurt, and it's just intuitive to go to a machine head and go to tune it, right? And they don't do anything. Like, it does it all for you. Which was, you'd think they would have learned the lesson when they tried it back then and no one was interested in that level of technology. But Gibson, those aren't really the sort of guitars you want that anyone wants. Gibson have issued a statement and said these guitars were faulty and they weren't suitable for anyone to own, and we still donate.
Because they have Gibson on the headstock and they're not counterfeit.
But like this it's that sense of entitlement that annoys me. Like, ultimately these guitars belong to Gibson. Gibson wanted, for whatever reason, this stock to no longer exist, so they got rid of the stock. Like, could you imagine like being forced legally for them to donate these guitars to people that needed / wanted them, just for the sake? Like, it's doing yourself out. It's not only is it giving away your stock, it's also removing a potential customer from the pool. It would be a very bad business decision to just randomly give away guitars to stop people on the internet getting upset.
I mean, if it had been the case, buy a new guitar and we'll give you a Firebird X for free, then maybe. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's their stock. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. I think what I find most funny is what you were saying there. You're talking about, like, even back then, people didn't want that level of innovation, that level of technology in their instruments. So Gibson go to the effort of innovating the tuning heads, but won't fix the ancient problem of the fucking volute on the neck and that fucking headstock angle. Like, you're trying to fix what aren't problems, and you're ignoring the ones that are.
Yeah. So certainly an interesting one. You see that people whinging about anything though, right? That's just like if you watch a Glenn Fricker video where he destroys a Line 6 amp.
Well, I mean, we're whinging about them whinging.
Am I whinging about them? I'm not. I'm making fun of them for whinging.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But my point is that it's a perpetual discussion.
Yeah. I don't take issue with their actual whinging. I just point at them and are like, why you be smarter?
Shut up.
So on the note of pointing at people and laughing at them.
Oh, what a segue.
It's the boomer posting. We mentioned this last time, and I just want to...
I still haven't seen the page. I was telling Levi earlier, he was showing me one of the posts, and
Yeah, I'll get you added to this group. It's called Guitar Boomer Posting on Facebook, and it is an entertaining little group where funny little posts of people saying stupid shit, boomers saying stupid shit on Facebook, to demonstrate how wide their worldly wisdom is.
Yes, I think before we even mention what this post is, it is fair to say that this is a Facebook post, and the person's profile photo, you can't see their face, but you can see that it says "Metal is the way of life," with a set of devil horns next to it.
And you can't see you can only see his chin. Let me bring it up. You can only see his chin, but I would say confidently that if you could scroll up, he would be bald. You know what I mean? You can just picture him.
But not because he's actually bald, it's because he wants to be Kerry King.
Yeah. Metal is the way of life, but he probably works as an accountant, you know?
I love warehousing me. Yeah. Metal!
So as you can see on screen, but we'll read it for those listening, young people don't know. They were not there at the beginning of metal. I was. Slayer made Rain in Blood. Ask any of these new bands who were their main influence growing up, and they will say fucking Slayer!
I probably would have said Megadeth or Metallica, but okay, fair point.
Just cringy as fuck.
Aye. Everybody knows an over-the-top Slayer fan. Everybody.
Yeah. Any Slayer fan.
Aye, essentially. Ryan Blaney. I'm naming you, friend. Yep. I'm naming you.
Called out.
Years ago, you were the Slayer fan.
Yep. Here's another one that absolutely tickled me. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Do you want to read this one?
Yes. When a song calls for a made-up chord, like D minor 6, flat 5/F sharp, I just play a D minor. Also, I don't keep my guitar tuned. I use the 5th fret track.
Absolutely wonderful. Got terrible news for him. All chords are made up.
And you will never be in a band if you don't tune your guitar properly. Ever.
Absolutely wonderful. But thank you for sharing your wisdom. Wouldn't recommend playing that chord. Don't want to play a D minor chord that has an F in it and put an F sharp in the bass. Like it's not really gonna. It's gonna sound more like a sharp 9.
Listen, he made that chord up. That's why he just plays a D minor.
Good point. Yeah, he totally. Yeah. So Guitar Boomer posting. Head on over, check them out on Facebook. There's some funny stuff in there.
Have a wee giggle at other people's expense.
Yes, which is that's what the Guitar Souls is all about, right?
That's what the internet's all about.
Laughing at other people.
Aye, that's just how the internet works.
I need to move my mic away because that was some heavy peaking there. Let's see what we can do in post to fix that, right?
Should be fine.
Where is our other news stories? Cool. So what else have we got to talk about? What would you like to talk about, Mike?
We'll just go with what's up on the screen just now.
Do it. We had to talk about this last time.
I don't think we did. No, I think this was only posted the other day.
Okay, 30th July. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the first time it's happened, though. I think we've spoke about it previously. Sorry, we'll just crack on. So Guitar.com reports that PV are to auction off $12 million worth of unsold guitars, amps and raw materials. The US company offloads a huge selection of old parts, components, tools and unsold products that it says are no longer needed for ongoing operation. Now, PV have done this before when they closed their storage and their plants and stuff in the UK and went just to, I think they even closed the American ones and it was just offshore manufacture, if memory serves correctly. And they just sold all their stock cheap as shit. I had a look at the listings for all the equipment that's there and there's not too much guitar amps, etc., but there's an overwhelming amount of PA equipment, speakers and amplifiers and crossovers and EQs and that kind of stuff. Quite a lot of like commercial install as well, like small speakers and just like smaller amplifiers basically. They had an auction for, if it wasn't 2, it was 3 6505s and the starting bid was $99. Like they must just be shipping shit out.
Yeah.
And they did this before, and I think back then there was the rumours of is that PV going under, but they didn't. Obviously, we spoke about how PV was mismanaged into the ground in the last few years. Sadly, this seems to be another step in it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel anyway. They're no longer needed for ongoing operation. Just sounds like we're liquidating this and we don't want to say those words.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this to you, but really I'm saying it to the people that are listening. But do you remember the Undercover Boss episode featuring PV?
I never watched it, but you told me about it.
Very, 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 very interesting. Very good. Also shows you kind of, the clusterfuck that is the PV situation over the last few years. So for those that haven't seen it, or even just the show, Undercover Boss. It's called Undercover Boss, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah. Quite an entertaining show. There's some funny episodes. There's actually a really funny one where Stephanie McMahon of the WWE goes undercover in WWE. Yeah.
As if you would never know who Stephanie McMahon is.
I know. Well, she had a big nose on, so changed her hair.
Master of crime.
Yeah. There's an episode based on PV, and the workers' concerns are obviously brought up, and they do lots of things to try and help their workers and employees. And I can't remember if it's mentioned in the actual episode or if it came out on the news like a week later. But literally, when that episode aired, PV closed down the entire American factory system and moved it abroad.
Yep, sounds about right.
There is your PR disaster. You don't get a worse PR disaster than that, especially for a company that's prided themselves on being American built.
I think even more than that, it's a shame to think that it's such a prevalent company. Like, I don't know anybody that hasn't owned a PV product because they covered all bases and the stuff was good. Even the cheap stuff's good. You buy a Bandit, Red Stripe Bandit, you can pick them up for about 50 quid these days.
Yep.
And it's still some of the best distorted tones you'll ever get. I can't name a metal band that hasn't used a 6505 or a 5150 or a JSX. It's just...
Yeah.
They're so big. It's like... They should have been too big to fail.
Yeah.
And I think they are probably the archetype for how Gibson are trying to play it.
Well, let's be realistic here. I say realistic. Let's state opinions as facts.
Okay. I love doing that as a guitar solos.
Yeah. They failed for one simple reason, right? And they've tried to steer the ship in the right direction, but they've done it too late. They failed because they tried to maintain this idea in 2019 of being an American company.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping American jobs,
mm-hmm.
which at its core is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, if you do that, your product is going to be more expensive or your margins are going to be smaller.
Yep.
You can't make your product more expensive because you can't compete with the overseas stuff. And people are not willing to pay more. Now, of course, some people do pay more for a product because they want it to be, locally made.
Yep.
To support your own country's economy.
Mm-hmm.
But en masse, it's just not going to work, and that's why they moved that factory. And yeah, it's a shame because I agree with the idea. Of course, you would much rather have something be homegrown. But I mean, Ormsby, great example. Like, when you want to get your product in the hands of as many people as possible,
mm-hmm.
you have to look at alternate options. And the run guitars are manufactured in Korea, yeah.
WMI, World Music.
And then they go over to Australia.
And are QC'd.
To the Ormsby factory and are taken care of. And
the European ones, if they're bought by dealers, they go to the dealers, but they have specifically authorised by Perry QC guys. So
yeah.
Still the same level of quality, but you're right.
And but the flip is if they were manufacturing all of that in Australia, you'd pay over double for it. Like, it is shocking that if you want a specific type of wood that isn't natural, is that the right word I'm looking for? I can't decide on the right word.
Just say the word you think.
Natural to the location where you're building.
Right.
Someone will correct me in the comments.
I might correct you in a minute when my brain catches
up.
Yeah, I
know. Yeah, the more I think about it, it disappears. Anyway, the wood that you want, it can't be sourced in the place that you're building, like Korea. It's cheaper for you to collect the wood en masse, ship it over to Korea, have the guitars manufactured, and ship them back than it is to keep the wood where you found it and build the guitar there.
True.
Yeah. Horrible world we live in. Shame. Like, again, it's the same as Gibson thing, in my opinion. Like, we don't really want Gibson to fail, do we?
No, but I also want them to get their finger out and do things right. I don't want them to survive in the state they're in.
I think when you say them, what the hatred that you and I obviously share for Gibson isn't Gibson, because Gibson is a name.
Exactly.
Anyone could run Gibson. You could change the people that run it, and then that hatred should disappear. And you judge the new people based on their actions.
On their terrible merits.
Yes. So when Henry was in charge, I think that's where the hatred came in.
Because it was a guy who claimed to know what he was doing, taking a company that's served musicians for not hundreds of years, but hundreds of years. Yeah. Straight down the Swanee with this suave arrogance and unfounded self-confidence.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah, and then he's millions of pounds to leave. Like
that wild.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. It's like almost like an asset stripper. And I'm not saying that's the case, but that same flippant, I don't care what happens with the company because I'm going to make my money and I'm out.
Yep. And it's starting to feel like a similar thing with whoever's running it now. But at its core, we don't want Gibson to fail. We want Gibson to succeed because they're an iconic part of the instrument that we play and love.
Even more than that, you don't want to see any brand fail unless there is reason for it.
Yeah.
If they are not a brand with any loyalty or actual fucking honesty, then fair enough. But if it's just a brand that, like, anybody, like, you don't want the market to get smaller and smaller and for there to be less choice. No one wants that. You want all these builders to start putting stuff in, because without all the contributions, no one's going to start innovating. There might be ideas that completely missed. It's just, you're closing your options to call for things to be shut down, which is shit.
Yep. On something funnier.
Yep, which is calling other people out.
Yeah, we're going to use a clip of Jared Dines now. Jared's not really I don't watch all of Jared's stuff because it's not. I'm into Adam Neely more so than Jared Dines. But every now and again you see, like, how would you describe them? Like viral YouTubers. What's Kieran? He's a viral YouTuber.
Aye.
Everything Kieran does hits the perfect mark for me.
Did you see his last video in the North Lane thing?
The 12-second clip.
Just
it's to the point and funny. But I saw Jared's latest video, and we're not going to watch the entire thing, obviously, because that would not be fair use.
I don't think Jared's content is fantastic personally, because I think he focuses more on putting stuff out than doing stuff that he really enjoys. But when he does stuff that he thinks is sending a point, he's usually on point as well. I mean, this one will be interesting. But see the ones where it's like metal screaming isn't hard or metal vocals isn't hard, those ones are quite interesting, because he just goes around that ordinary people in the same way and goes, right, cool, give me a death metal scream, and then people go like, oh, I can't do it, and then they'll go to somebody who's obviously in a band, you do a death metal scream, and then they do it, and he says, cool, how long did you have to train to do that, and what do you have to put your voice through? So I think it's fair, it's good, that he's making a point to people that don't involve themselves in that music community, to say, don't, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's baseless.
Yes.
It's like listening to jazz and saying that's stupid. No, it's beyond stupid. It's much smarter than you can comprehend because you don't know the context. Yeah. This is the same.
Yeah. This video, calling out people on their band shirts, is such a wonderful idea. And I'm surprised, honestly, I'm very surprised by the amount of misses that he gets on this. Now, of course, this is edited, so he could have had, everyone he spoke to, 90% of people could have fired back the perfect answers. But then, of course, you're only going to show the ones where people don't. But still, I would like to think that if you went out and did this in the community that he's doing, because he's doing it outside gigs by the looks of things, right? You would think that it would be hit after hit after hit. And it's not. So we'll watch 60 seconds of this.
Today we're going to find out if people really know about the band on their shirt. Let's find out. Can you name 3 Bring Me to the Horizon songs?
Oh, that's an awkward one, isn't it?
Can you name me 3
people on the spot
obituary
like
songs?
Okay. Shit. I'm kind of drunk right now.
I think it's hard when you're putting the point as well.
Traitor songs.
Yeah, they all like to defend themselves and say they're drunk.
Right now? No, it's in the fucking head. I don't even know who's playing right now. I'm kind of drunk, so.
Can you name 3 I Prevail songs?
Oh, wait. I forgot just
oh, you can't cheat. Oh, he's cheating. He's cheating. Can you name 3 Tool songs?
This is my favorite.
Oh my God.
Her answer.
Just on principle, because I am just like a little white girl, I'm not answering the question. Because I don't need to prove myself.
What was that then?
Can you name me 3?
Yeah, we'll stop there.
She's unwell.
Yeah.
Not being cruel, she is unwell.
This guy's actually the hero. Have you watched the video?
I haven't seen this one.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to actually play it because we played a minute. Like, people go watch the video. This guy can name you a Protest the Hero song. In fact, he can name you every single song off every single album in the order they came out and the order that they're played on the album.
What a hero!
Yeah.
And I won't protest him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to scroll back.
Sorry.
She's absolutely my favourite.
She's not well.
The one that annoys me the most in this is there's a guy wearing a Motley Crue shirt.
Right.
And it's a cool shirt because it's a Motley Crue shirt. And Jared's like, name me 3 Motley Crue songs. And he's just like, oh, dude. And it's like, I know you're not supposed to gatekeep. Like, gatekeeping is an inherently bad thing. But also at the same time, I'm like, take off the fucking Motley Crue shirt. Take it off.
Yeah, right. If you don't know 3 Motley Crue songs, then you probably haven't listened to a lot of music. And that's not out of badness. Right? But I think I would struggle if I was put on the spot as well. Right? Now, I'm wearing a Valanemia t-shirt.
Yeah, see, I was going to say, what t-shirt are you wearing?
This is a friend of mine's band. They only have basically pre-production demos out at the moment,
Okay.
and I only know the name of 2 songs: Sentenced to a Beating and Charred Remains, and Charred Remains is in the back of the t-shirt. I think that's legit. I mean, I know some of the songs.
Yeah, and they've only got
4.
pre-production demos.
Yep, they don't have anything out yet.
So how many pre-production demos are there?
There's only 7 copies. I own 1, and there's 4 tracks on it.
Okay, so there's only 4 songs in existence.
And I know 2.
And you know 50% of their entire catalogue.
Yes. Well, no, they might have more songs than that, but not recorded.
Yeah, we'll let you off.
Yeah.
We'll let you off.
I was just going to say that. Maybe I'm a hypocrite.
I don't know any Champa songs. Yeah, so some people in the video make some good arguments, like, oh, I went to see them, like they were just on at the Warped Tour. I thought they were pretty good, so I just thought I'd support them by buying a t-shirt.
That's cool. That's fair.
I've got a Raised by Owls t-shirt that you bought me for my birthday, maybe, or Christmas.
I think it was part of your Christmas present.
Yeah, because I like owls and Mike likes brutal death metal. You combine those 2 things, I wear a Raised by Owls t-shirt without actually being able to tell you what any of their songs are. But there's a nice story behind it. So, yeah, gatekeeping. But we're just unfortunately, it's just, I feel something that we as a community, we can be very tribal. I think metal fans are the worst. Like, I've gone on record as saying this many times. The amount of times you hear people say, that's not real metal, absolutely kills me. We saw it with the Guitar Boomer posting. I've had the argument with Doug, heated debates, where I'm like, I like Disturbed. And he's like, cool, but they're not metal. I'm like, what do you mean?
Why do we still argue about fucking genres?
I know.
Just listen to what you like.
Yeah. No, but you can't listen to them, because if they're not metal, you can't listen to them. You can only listen to metal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way that works. So
better quit a party cannon then.
Yeah. Talking to this young lady, this intellectual heavyweight, let's go with intellectual heavyweight, in her Tool t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We would be foolish if we didn't mention Tool, right?
Certainly.
Seeing as they seem to be absolutely fucking everywhere in the news right now.
From stories about tools to a story about Tool.
From stories about a Tool wearing a Tool shirt to stories about Tool being tools.
I kind of don't want to talk about this because this is what they want, but at the same time, hats off.
Yeah, it's been expertly crafted.
Oh, aye. So, as well, and I'm sure everybody else knows who's listening, that Tool's entire back catalogue is now on the streaming services, it's Spotify, etc. And they made a big point of hyping it up, but not by saying, we're going to be on Spotify in a week. It was like, big announcement coming soon, blah, blah, blah. And every one of their albums has went to number 1 in the SoundCloud charts and Spotify charts, I think it was. Is that right?
On the top 10, they occupy 5 of the top 10 spots.
Wild.
Yeah, which, yeah.
Maynard James Keenan's going to get a check for $173.
It always surprises me how popular Tool are. Like, just how rabid their fan base are. I'm not a fan. Like, not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. I like the cinematography in their videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But musically, like I do like what they do.
Yep.
I do like what they do. But I feel after I've had 5-10 minutes of it, it's like, cool, I want something else now. And they've got that super laid back, droning, repetitive thing going on. That's part of it.
Yep.
And it gets to the point where I just start craving, like, cool, let's do something else.
I bring a riff in, please.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the outlier. I don't dislike them, but I'm not massively big on them. I can sit and listen to an album when I'm in the mood, but I'm not like rabid.
Yeah, well, that's where I am. I don't dislike the band.
Yeah. I
would never say I want to put a Tool album on, but if I'm around your house and Tool's on, I'm not going to go turn this shit off. It's not like Volbeat. Turn this shit off.
Volbeat are alright.
But they're
anybody
not,
that can have Barney from Napalm Death do guest vocals on it, something with clean singing, then okay.
But they're not real metal, Mike.
Oh well, gatekeep them again.
Yeah. So there's talk of the new Tool album and shit, and we're gonna hear a lot about Tool. Yeah.
Can't be bothered with it. It's Chinese democracy too.
Yeah. Maynard was also on Joe Rogan talking about things. Again, not watched it.
I genuinely think the problem here is that they're going to hype up so much it's going to disappoint. Whether it's the best album that's ever come out or not, I think they are just riding the dick off it.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope for the serious Tool fans, and for myself as a casual listener, that it's a great album and it hooks me in, but I don't see it. I think there's just so much hype it can never live to that level.
To demonstrate the level of hype surrounding Tool and Maynard, mind he got Me Too'd.
No.
Sexual assault allegations. Some people are so big that dirt can't touch them.
That's fair. I don't remember that coming out.
We talked about it.
I know we did. That's how bad it is. It's so vague. You think he engineered not releasing the new Tool so that he could play it off? Fucking hell. So, not even a year ago, 12th of December 2018.
I'll just bring this up.
Yeah. So,
now you know how I feel about things like this. And people probably know how I feel about things like this, like innocent until proven guilty type thing. But generally speaking, when it comes to a subject like this, that's not how society as a whole functions. You know, like perfect example. What Maynard is being accused of and has been accused of by a few people is, I would say, nowhere near as heinous as what Louis C.K. essentially had his career ended over. But cool, everyone's banging on about Tool, so you know, whatever makes you sleep at night allows you to sleep at night.
It's not Maynard James Keenan's Tool, that's for sure.
Very good, very good. So while we were talking about that, the subject of what you said was cool. So they're top on all the streaming services. So you know where I'm going with this. So he's going to make $107 or whatever. Slipknot's Corey Taylor back in the news.
Everybody's favourite. Doesn't he ever fucking shut up?
Because yeah, Corey Taylor just wouldn't be Corey Taylor if he wasn't banging on about something.
But respect where respect's due.
Yep.
He's making a very good point. Corey Taylor is saying that music streaming is pricing artists out of careers. And this was only yesterday this was published.
Go for it.
I think that's a very fair point. So I'll just read this, come from blabbermouth.net. Slipknot and Stone Sour singer Corey Taylor has blasted Spotify for the paltry payments the music streaming service pays out to music right holders. This past January, the Copyright Royalty Board ruled out the royalties songwriters receive from on-demand subscription streaming would jump 44% over the next 5 years. Spotify, Google, Pandora and Amazon, 4 of the major US streaming services, later appealed the ruling, saying that it harms music licensees and copyright owners. No, it doesn't. Fuck you. How does that sound? Put adverts on if you really need to make money.
Yeah.
After Niels Lofgren of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band took to his Twitter on Saturday to complain about the fact that artists simply don't get paid for their work, while Spotify is worth billions, Corey responded, "No one points this out. And while Congress has passed legislation to right this wrong, almost all the streaming services are appealing, which means we still don't get paid for our work. But please people, by all means, stream away." Fair. Apart from him saying that no one points this out, because almost every musician that's on any streaming site or thinks about putting music out definitely mentions what a crock of shit this is.
Yep.
Taylor Swift made a big point of not having her music on streaming services because she's like, why would I make art that I hope has a value and I put a value on that I'd never get the value back through your service? Why would I do that?
Well, she is on streaming services. She just removed, she didn't put up the new album when the new album went up. Right?
I thought she was off it completely, sorry.
So I'll double check.
Yeah, I thought she removed her music because of whatever happened. I can't imagine she'd be the... Oh, no, she's on there, fair enough. I can't imagine she would be the only musician to take that stand either.
Yeah. I think what Taylor did was extremely smart business. It was you don't put your latest greatest thing that has value in the bargain bin on day one, and I feel that's what putting your album on Spotify is. Prime example, right? Scott Henderson just released a new album. Just released it. Now, do I want to stream it? I pay £15 a month for my Spotify because I have a Spotify family. Do I want to stream it? Or do I want to spend an additional £15 this month, plus £15 to ship it from America on CD over here, knowing that all that's going to happen when that CD turns up is I'm going to put it in my computer
and rip it on
and rip the audio onto my computer? Like, no, I don't. For 2 reasons. One, I want to listen to it now.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, I've already paid £15 this month. I don't want to triple the amount that I'm spending on music this month. That makes me part of the problem. But it's the same argument that I had with PV. Like, adapt or die.
Yep.
I do feel that, there's no reason for Spotify to be worth billions. Because you shouldn't be making more profit than your artists.
No.
Because without your artists, you don't have a business.
That's just profiteering.
Yes. So that's my position on that. I feel that it can be fixed. I feel that you can improve upon this. But the way of doing it is not to appeal the fact that the Copyright Royalty Board has ruled that royalties songwriters receive should be going up by 44% over the next 5 years. Because a 44% jump on fuck all is still fuck all. It's just almost 50% more than fuck all. It's fuck all and a bit.
They would have
demonetized.
Aye, it's not as if Spotify, etc., would not have a lot of money, even just for the initial fee of putting the music onto the site, or if the band paid like the same as people listening, some sort of subscription, rather than taking so much off a per stream.
Yeah,
wild, absolutely wild.
So Taylor went on to say that bands like Slipknot and Stone Sour have to tour. It's the only way we can make a living. Merch helps. But the merch companies make the lion's share. Streaming is pricing artists, old and new, out of careers.
Correct.
Well, it's like, I hear what you're saying there, Corey. You have to tour. It's the only way that we can make a living. Merch helps, but merch companies make the lion's share. Well, like last episode, we were talking about the problem with gig tickets and how expensive gig tickets are.
Mm-hmm.
The merch companies are making the lion's share, but then every time you do a gig, the booking fees just go up and up because there's another company that can see, this merch company's making all of this money. Everyone's making money. We want to make a bigger cut. So ticket prices are just going up. So, it just feels like your solution to whinging about, and I don't like saying whinging, but he's whinging about not being able to make a career. He is doing the right thing. He's sticking up for the smaller independent musicians. But the solution for that is not to stiff your fans with ridiculous ticket fees.
I don't think Corey's saying that though.
That's the unspoken thing. Like, we have to tour, cool. Merch helps, but merch companies make the lion's share. So where else does your money come from when you're touring?
Aye, but that they're not like saying put tickets at $150 and we get the majority. They'll only get they'll get a guarantee.
Yes.
What the venue decides to charge isn't their control.
No, that absolutely depends on who and what the booking arrangement is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
How can we disagree? That absolutely depends on what the agreement in place is.
Of course it is, but let's say, for example, it's Slipknot at the SECC. What's the capacity there? Let's say, 20,000?
Yeah.
Right? They're probably going to take $20,000 for a show. Okay? So it's not $1 a ticket or £1 a ticket.
Hang on. $20,000 to the SECC?
Or pounds, whatever.
No, I wasn't making fun of the currency. $20,000 to the £20,000 to the SECC.
Mm-hmm.
Not a chance in hell.
What do you think?
A ticket for the SECC is 40 quid?
Mm-hmm.
Band is probably going to be making 40% of that. They'll be taking 40% of that.
I don't see it. Then again,
yeah, definitely. That's how they're making money. Like, because otherwise, if he says we have to tour, it's the only way that we can make a living. We play in venues that do 20,000 people or 50,000 people or whatever, however big it is, and we make $1 per person. Like, that's not enough money to run a show, because just the cost of being on tour is extremely expensive. The stage show is extremely expensive. Mm-hmm. There's a manager that needs to be paid. There's an entire row crew that needs to be paid.
I'm talking like band's profit, not what they're being paid for the full outrig.
I see.
There's no way they could run a show like that on 20 grand. Never mind PM.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that we saw like Tool doing festivals. They were getting, how much were they getting? We literally covered this story episodes ago, but it was just an obscene amount of money. Like, and it's demand, isn't it? Like, you just look at it and like, they have that much demand. Slipknot aren't doing bad for tickets. People showing up to shows, and they're not doing bad for the money that they're making on tour. Actually, remember this. This is actually really interesting. Have to tour. It's the only way we can make a living. Merch helps, but the merch companies make the lion's share. Aren't you currently going through a legal issue with one of your band members over merchandise, and you literally having a merch company? Isn't that a thing?
Maybe that's where the majority of the money's going then.
Yeah.
And his offshore account.
Yeah. You know, Corey's one of those guys. Like, I love him and I hate him. I love him because he's the sound of my childhood. He's someone that influenced who I became as a person, influenced that greatly. He also...
As a gimp.
Yeah. With that new mask, yeah. He does the thing that... Ultimately, the thing that I do with my YouTube videos. When I do a rage time video, it's I'm raging on behalf of other people. I'm trying to encourage people to stand up and be angry about something collectively, because what's happening here is an injustice type thing.
Yes.
So I can see what Corey's doing. Like, he's absolutely doing the right thing, and I admire and thank him for that. But also, he just annoys me because he's just constant.
Yep.
It just, like, I'm surprised we haven't seen a new story today saying Slipknot's Corey Taylor weighs in on just how much Tool are in the press today. Because he's just always got something to say.
Yes, isn't it?
Corey, stop having things to say. Go and make another Slipknot album. We'd all really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, we wouldn't. No, we would not. Have you heard Soul Wafer?
Good point.
No, we would not.
Yeah. Okay. Corey, go and continue to wear your flat peak caps and be the man. Like, he's our generation's Johnny Rotten. Going back to when my parents were kids and saying, see that guy that you look up to and admire because he's just so anti-establishment. Years from now, he's going to be selling butter.
Doing adverts for butter. Pretending he's some sort of country gentleman.
Yeah.
Part of that word is correct. Cunt.
Yeah. Cool. Another news story?
Yes. This is one that we could have covered last week, but we didn't get time to because this room became a sauna.
Not much better now. But
that's all right. It's not too bad. It's not killer. It's not as bad as
that was Heatwave Day.
That was really bad. Yeah. Sorry. Etsy is acquiring Reverb, a new and used music gear marketplace. Now, I'm sure all of you know what Reverb is. I'd be concerned if you didn't.
Yeah.
But for those who don't, it is an online marketplace for new and used music gear, as the headline states.
It's really funny because, like, obviously most places that are covering this go, Etsy is acquiring Reverb, comma, and then explaining what Reverb is, right? Whereas for our community, it's Reverb is being acquired by Etsy, comma, explaining what the hell Etsy is. So for those unfamiliar with Etsy is it's kind of like, well, it's an online marketplace where people can create their own things and sell their own things. Etsy's pretty cool.
I think it was designed kind of for like individual experimental art stuff or trinkets and just exactly that, like having an eBay store for your own stuff but having this own market, and it's just grown and grown and grown. And I think there's actually quite a few like boutique independent fashion designers and stuff work on there as well, and it looks like a fairly decent market. It obviously does well, especially if they're acquiring Reverb.
Yeah. That really surprised me because I think of Reverb as being, you know, big and making a lot of money, but evidently for Etsy to buy them, they must be making absolute bank. Which, fair enough. It's a good idea. I do like Etsy. I have bought things on Etsy before. You having a look through for the prices?
$275 million in cash is what they're paying for it.
Yeah. I've bought things off Etsy before. Great example. I'm sure I bought this off Etsy for Nelson's 30th. I got her a piece of art off of Etsy, a pin-up girl version of Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Nice.
There's tons of things that you can get on Etsy, and actually, it surprises me that they are as successful as they are, because it's rife with copyright infringement. Absolutely fucking rife with copyright infringement.
I haven't been on Etsy in about 5 or 6 years, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people who will just be drop shipping shit straight off of fucking Alibaba or fucking Wish.com or any of this shit.
But even like boutique made, like you want someone to knit you a hat with the Zelda logo on it.
Okay.
You go to Etsy. Like you'll be able to get that on there.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I'm like, cool, it's nice that that's being provided. On the other hand, that's not how the law works. You can't just do that. But people just do. And Etsy is really big for that. For some reason, the thing that's popping into my mind of things that you can buy on Etsy would be, because I've wanted to buy one for years and years and years, you know those wool hats that are like a knight's helmet?
Oh, don't.
With a chin strap?
You didn't want to buy one of them, did you?
I did, because I thought it would be hilarious to wear it in a video one time. You know what? I've just decided. Let's go on Etsy.
Let's do it.
Let's go on Etsy. We've got time.
This is like the dark web, but the opposite.
It's
the light web.
The dark arts and crafts web.
That's it.
What should we ever look for? Metallica?
You can't. How could you write like the Silk Road, but make it nice? Because the Silk Road's already nice. Do you know what I mean?
Here you go.
Get it up on screen.
Perfect example. Typed in Metallica. Here you go. You can get a handmade Metallica double-sided guitar pick plectrum keyring. This illegal.
A music box that plays Nothing Else Matters, double illegal.
Double illegal. Yeah.
It's got the logo on it.
Yeah.
And it plays copyrighted music.
Yes. That's actually such a great example. Unlicensed music box music. That is amazing. I want Metallica to sue the creators of this because it's the sort of thing they do. Also, because I just love the idea of someone being sued for the music that a music box makes. So there you go. Nothing else matters. Is there a clip of it? It's such a shame that I can't hear it playing.
YouTube it.
We're getting into effort now, aren't we? And look, these things. This is cells. Usually you get an idea of. This seller has 2,000 bits of feedback. Like, it's oh yeah, okay. They just do music boxes and with anything.
So essentially, they have music boxes that will play anything, and then they feed the paper in that will play the music.
Yep.
Which is okay, fair enough. And then they laser etch the logo onto it.
Yeah. What else should we look for? Should we look for party cannon?
Go for it. You'll probably just get like actual party cannons though. Let's see what we can find. Baseball gender reveal. Keeper of the gender. An actual cannon. Confetti cannons.
It seems to be.
Why would MD ever want to fucking copyright infringe anything of ours?
Because you literally have some of the best merch on the market. No.
Some vintage metal crackerjack prizes.
Okay, so there's nothing of yours on Etsy.
Hi Etsy, fuck you.
What else can we have a look for? I don't want to just type in guitar in general, but
the Beatles. Nancy and I had an argument.
Go on.
Over going to see yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Yes, it was a total miscommunication, but she wanted to go and see it, and I tried to explain to her that I have nothing I would like to do less in this world than see anything about the Beatles.
Have to see it, it's so good.
No is the answer.
That's why you argued, because you're a stubborn mule, Mike.
Correct.
Michael.
Correct. You're not wrong.
Something like this is a prime example of what I think Etsy should be, right? Taking a VHS tape and then converting that into a lamp and then using some artwork.
No, wait. Let's take a wee step back. They haven't converted anything into a lamp. They have put LEDs inside a case.
Yes. Well, okay, repurposing a VHS into. I wouldn't want this in my house. It's fucking gaudy, right? But
15 quid.
It's a nice idea. It is a nice idea. I wouldn't want any of these.
It's not for me.
Runs on batteries.
Not for me.
Sure, but it's totally going to be for someone.
Yes.
If you like that kind of it's shabby chic.
The thing one's quite cool because the full case close.
Yeah. So
otherwise, bin every one of them.
That's what I think of Etsy.
What else could we look up?
Well, you just type guitar, right?
Oh, you're going to get guitar bits and fucking all sorts, man.
No, because the idea behind Etsy is that everything is like manufactured, right? So people it's supposed to be crafts. Yeah. Man's wedding band made from bird's eye maple, ebony, and guitar string.
Kind of like my ring. Mine's is nicer.
Yeah.
You bastard.
That's exactly the thing with Etsy, right? It's like there are so many things on here that are genuinely quite cool.
The Spamp. That is fantastic. Wait a minute. Look at this. Fried, grilled and chilled.
There's only one left, mate.
There's only one in the world.
Where is this? Where is it located?
Are you buying it?
Where is it located?
Scroll down a wee bit, it tells you there. Yeah, $4.95 delivery from United Kingdom. You better hide your details. You're not buying a Spamp, are you?
Yeah, I'll buy a Spamp. Really good. Someone better go and fucking sign up to my Patreon though, because I don't really have £40 to be wasted on stupid shit like this right now.
But you'll buy it anyway.
I'll buy it anyway because we'll be able to talk about it on the next. Are you about to text someone and say Levi's just bought a Spamp?
Yep.
There you go. Right, cool.
Oh my god.
What?
I'll tell you later. Not inappropriate. Oh. Kicking the desk. Sorry, for anybody that's listening must be totally bored. Shit. The Spamp was an amplifier built into a Spam can. For those that don't know what Spam is, it's essentially manually recovered meat in a tin. It would last probably through 5 nuclear winters and still be edible, not being the right word, but consumable. And Levi has bought an amplifier with it, and some of the controls on it were fantastic. So there was a switch for the different types of sounds to it. One was grilled, one was chilled, one was fried.
Sorry, this item is sold out. You damn right it has.
Spamp music.
I didn't even look at it. Like, oh look, okay. Apparently it's a thing. Apparently lots of people do these.
No, this is the Spamp music is their own shit. That's their own. It's the one person making all different Spam things.
A Spam phaser.
Imagine you had a Spam pedal board. It's just all Spam tins with different pedals in
Mate, don't even suggest this. I don't have the money to be doing this right now, but I will do this.
Wait, here's a more interesting question. Do you even like Spam?
No, I'd hate
it's
Spam.
It's fucking stinking.
Yeah, but Hayley really likes Spam. So, input, I mean, it doesn't... There's a line in.
Yep.
I mean, there's no speaker on it.
No.
So...
It's got headphones on a line out.
Okay. No, it's got a line in. There's no line out.
It's got output. That's a line out.
I'm literally just looking
Were you looking about thinking this has only got headphones for it?
Yes.
No. Yeah. Oh, it's an original design, not a clone of any Stomp box, not designed to emulate any other particular sound.
Is there...
That's great.
What wattage is it? Using the Spamp.
Stop there. Spamp is optimised to drive headphones with a nominal impedance 16 to 32 ohms. Guitar output is mixed with left and right channels of the headphone output, so you can play along without disturbing parents, partner, children as applicable. It'll probably just be line level, I would think. Like any other pedal, really. I can't believe you bought that. That's just fucking outrageous.
Well, I mean, it's funny, innit? Do it for
the lols. Liverpool. Makes sense.
Do it for the lols, mate.
Liverpool.
So there you go. Etsy has acquired Reverb, and they've just got some of my money.
And it's won over Levi's heart.
Yeah. Hayley absolutely loves Spam, so maybe I'll be able to win her over. I'll spam her with my content. Spam.
Speaking of the kind of person that spams us constantly, Kirk Hammett has composed a classical piece.
Bless his wee cotton socks.
Real classical music, beautiful steak, Chateaubriand. Kirk Hammett, Spam.
Hammett said about the composition, it will come to the museum in a bit at some point. The title, The Djinn, will hopefully set the mood of how you experience music because it tells a story of the Djinn, a Middle Eastern term for genie.
He spelt it wrong. My understanding Djinn starts with a D.
I think you see it spelt in many different ways because when you talk about it being Middle Eastern, originally it wouldn't have been written in English.
I know, but I think the actual translation is a D at the start. It's Jinn. But I may be wrong. Anyway, fuck Kirk Hammett.
Yeah. The guitarist also said, I'm getting more and more into classical music. Classical composers, and a lot of classical composers take on the horror genre. I want to start orchestrating music and telling musical stories through music in much the same way as a lot of these classical guys did in the 19th and 20th century.
You better develop ears first.
Yeah. I want to start orchestrating music and telling musical stories through music. Sorry, have you not been in a band for the last 40 fucking years?
But what story does bending out a tune tell?
None, but, like, I can assure you that the Djinn will not tell a story as effectively as Creeping Death does.
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
True. But that's not down to Kirk Hammett.
not
That's
down to
James Hetfield's incredible lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's why The Four Horsemen is better than Mechanics, even though Mechanics musically is better.
But to read the full story, we've got Billboard reports that Metallica guitarist Kirk Hammett has composed The Djinn, his second classical music piece, with his wife Lani. Announcing the news at Toronto's Royal Ontario Museum, Kirk explained that the music is meant to convey the vibe. I think they want to put vibe.
Yep.
The vibe conveyed by awful writing. Convey the vibe conveyed by the posters from his horror exhibition titled It's Alive, Classical Horror, Sci-Fi and Art from the Kirk Hammett Collection. Posters include such classics as Dracula, Frankenstein, Barbara, Bride of Frankenstein, and much more. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Goodbye, Kirk.
Wouldn't recommend it, Kirk. It's classical music is not something that you just sort of turn your hand to. Even someone like John Williams, you know, one of the great film composers of all time, like, you know, he's not an orchestrator. He composes a piano, and he has a team of orchestrators.
What roundabout? Okay, that makes sense.
Because
do you think Hans Zimmer does that, or do you think he completely orchestrates all in one?
I would imagine he probably orchestrates. But yeah, it's a wonderful world if you want to go into it. I actually wrote my dissertation at university on horror film music and its evolution over time. An in-depth study of that, and the focal point was the change in the compositional style of music for horror films, using the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which was scored by Charles Bernstein. I want to say Charles Bernstein, and the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which was 2010. Steve Jablonsky did the score for that, and huge difference in the way those scores sound. If you think back to like a John Carpenter film, you think of Halloween, the classic Halloween theme. Like John Carpenter did all the music for that because it easy, right? At a little keyboard, change the bass note, change it, and go down, like easy. Whereas now, horror music and themes in horror music is not really about an obvious theme, is it? It's atmosphere. It's knowing how, it's way beyond my abilities musically, knowing how to orchestrate for multiple violins to create that unnerving that's not a th unnerving sound.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's almost like how action films have had that development as well. Now everything's got that same Michael Bay big low orchestra hit with a synth over it.
Yeah.
Man. You know, like everything's got it. Call of Duty's fucking got it in the trailers. Yeah. Man. Like you're not conveying anything musically there, you're playing one note.
It still
sets the tone.
I see people, yeah, that's the point, right? Like I see people complaining that video game music isn't what it used to be. And it's the same as, well, it's not quite the same as horror films, but video game music back in the day, like all the classic music that we think of from video games was that way because that's what the system provided.
Yep.
You couldn't have atmospheric music so much on a Super Nintendo, though of course
I disagree.
Yeah, no, like you play a game like Metroid, the music is rather atmospheric, but generally speaking, it's not that you couldn't. It's that the what you were playing with had things that it did very well.
Yes.
So having these strong musical themes kind of defined the sound of the console. Whereas now, yeah, you play like Uncharted or The Last of Us or a Call of Duty game, like
somebody's actually scored an orchestra and recorded it, perfect quality, so that it plays just perfect to it, like a film scene.
Yeah, and you don't really want a theme. The game wants a theme, but when you're playing it, you want the music to add to the atmosphere of whatever's happening. So, give it a bash, Kurt. Let's see how that one goes. Right, a happy story.
Let's do it.
It's kind of happy and kind of sad, right? Rammstein playing in Russia just recently, and it's Richard Zed and who's the other guy? I mean, why is this new story a collection of stories?
That's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm unsure the two members that done it. You're right.
It's Richard
Z
and
Richard Crisp. Is that his right name?
Yeah.
And Paul Landers.
Yeah.
The other guitarist. While playing in Russia, obviously knowing that the Russians, at least the Russian government, don't like gay people, decide to have a kiss on stage. Just as a big fuck you to Russia.
Yeah, because Russia has a ban on public displays of non-traditional sexual relations.
Gay propaganda law.
Yeah.
Non-traditional sexual relations. What a fucking term. Yeah. That's horrendous.
Yeah. It's.
What do you mean non-traditional?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, I don't really know what to say about this as a situation. I think the key thing is when it happened. It wasn't a room full of people that then booed and rioted.
No, of course not.
Because it's not an issue with the people, is it? It's an issue with the government. So yeah, respect to Rammstein for that. Do you think it was planned in advance, or
I hope so.
Caught up in the moment?
It's, either way, good on them.
Yeah,
fucking great show of solidarity.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait for some American to lean in and call us libtard fucking something to do with virtue signalling blah 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 for mentioning this.
So here it says that Rolling Stone reports that foreigners accused of violating the law, let's go with violating the law, may be arrested and detained for up to 15 days, fined up to 5,000 rubles and deported.
Don't you dare be gay or we'll put you in jail and fine you.
Yeah. Back to the good old days. Obviously, I don't feel that way. My wife is bisexual.
You don't feel that way in general, never mind because of that.
No, of course.
You don't have to qualify that.
No, I do, because it's very easy for someone to clip that tiny little bit out of context and assume that I don't like gay people.
Fucking let them. Idiots.
Yeah, I do enjoy stuff like that. So,
this is one we don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, let's just mention it briefly. The last thing I want to do is bring attention to mass shooters. I don't want to name names because I don't want to bring any attention to who they are and make them famous.
Because they don't deserve it.
I think that's the most important thing. But in crossing with that, the whole where that's an issue and where people butt heads on that is most people don't have the conviction to stick to that. Because they desperately just want to write news stories and they just want to cover stuff. So they just look for anything that they can cover. And yeah, apparently a mass shooter wore an acacia strain t-shirt.
And an Ohio reporter tried to liken these things or felt that was a relevant piece of information when reporting on the scenario.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Fuck you twice. Fuck off over there, then fuck off further, away up to the moon, and fuck off for there as well. You are a piece of shit, lazy as fuck, joke of a journalist if you think that those two are connected. This isn't 1998. Marilyn Manson wasn't responsible for fucking Columbine. A person wearing an Acacia Strain t-shirt is not responsible for all of this. Child's Play 3 was not responsible for Jamie Bulger being killed. Trying to equate these things is fucking stupid. Fuck you.
Proud of you, buddy. Or we could just go the opposite route. Mass shooter used to read the Washington Post. The Washington Post causes mass shootings.
Mass shooter loved Donald Trump. Donald Trump fans commit mass shootings.
I mean, I feel that's probably an argument that you would happily make, though.
If this is
we're trying to ridicule arguments here.
This is one of the 3 people who committed a mass shooting yesterday. 3 people in one country. Another thing that gets my back up, right? You want to own a gun, fair enough, but don't talk about how guns aren't the problem. It's fucking nonsense. Easy access to guns and the number of guns in your country are the problem. Every other country that's had a mass shooting has went, we should probably do something about our gun laws, at least make them more strict. Guess what? Drastically less, if none.
Well, I have to jump in now, not contradict you, but allow you to contradict yourself, because just before we started you pointed out that Australia has as many guns.
Yep, but they've got stricter gun laws. That was my point.
Your issue is more mental health concerns.
My issue is the context of the number of weapons, the easy availability of weapons, and the lack of care about people.
Yep. We certainly can't blame the Acacia strain.
No.
I don't even know who the Acacia Strain are.
They're a metalcore band.
Oh, yeah.
And the journalist, I'm not even going to call him a journalist, the dickhead that reported on this, Jim Heath, wrote on social media about something about the lyrics on the back of this t-shirt. Were from, he called it a hateful and vengeful song. The song's called Ramirez. It's a metalcore band. There's plenty of metal bands write edgy shit. Alright, on the back of this t-shirt it said, "No heart to fear, no soul to steal." So what? What if the back of his t-shirt, or sorry, if he was wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, would you have said that in your news story? Probably not. I'd imagine you're a biased piece of shit.
Yeah, so the full response from, who's this, a singer from the band?
I'm not sure which member.
"What happened in Dayton is horrifying, even more so to know that the shooter was wearing the Acacia Strain hoodie is making me sick. There is no excuse for this. Anyone who knows anything knows that we don't condone this behaviour. No one has the right to take another's life. We'll be taking action to help the families of the victims however we can." Don't feel it's the best response that you could make.
I'd imagine he's quite shocked.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt to say,
yeah,
let's just, daft example, there's a mass shooting and somebody's wearing a party cannon t-shirt, and then we start getting the blame. Of course you'd be in the back foot. You probably wouldn't be at your best in terms of what you would say.
Yeah.
Especially on a personal social media account. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm as unhappy as you are that I've been dragged into this. It's just monumentally stupid to make arguments like that, but we're just going to see it till the end of time, aren't we?
Yep.
Just absolutely to the end of time.
It's severely irresponsible. That's how I call it.
Yeah. It's the old guilt by association. This guy liked your band, you're responsible. So,
but it's the same argument we had about violent video games.
Yeah.
And as I said, Columbine and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
It's fucking nonsense. It's been proven to be nonsense.
Yeah.
Through the test of time when you put other people through witch trials already.
Yeah. Also, I think it's bigger than that. I think guys like this, like Jim Heath, foolishly make the assumption that, the Acacia Strain must only have like 5 fans and a quarter of them are now mass shooters. Like, no. I don't know who the Acacia Strain are, okay? But I can confidently say that listening to them will not make you shoot up a school. Or I don't actually I've not even followed what happened. Let's not give him any more than that. But yeah, they will not have caused anyone to shoot up a school. If anything, listening to the Acacia Strain, you said they're a metalcore band.
Yes.
Might induce suicide. If I listen to the Acacia Strain, that might be the only solution for me. Don't kill other people, kill yourself.
Jesus Christ. You might end up liking them. That's the worst part.
What?
You might end up liking them. That's Maybe. The worst part.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like, obviously, right? In case I need to make this clearer for people listening, don't actually kill yourself. Like,
yes,
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying shocking things because shocking things amuse me. I'm a broken human being.
You're a shock rocker.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's no surprise you're friends with Marcus then, is it?
Yeah. It's a shame that they get thrown into this situation. It genuinely is a shame they get thrown in. The thing I do like, I just want to bring this picture up. The thing I really do like about this is this picture seems that it was taken after all of this happened, because they all seem to be giving, apart from maybe these two guys, these guys are all giving a very fitting response to this situation. This guy is not impressed. This guy's not impressed. This guy's shocked that someone would be so stupid. So, definitely not the Acacia Strain's fault. Right.
Fucking nonsense, isn't it?
2 more things?
Yeah. Let's move on for this, because you know what? This person doesn't deserve any more time. The victims do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of injustices, let's go from one injustice to another injustice.
And a fantastic analysation of a situation.
Yeah. So, Katy Perry flame lawsuit.
I was loosely following it, and then you said, have you seen this video?
Yes. So for those that have listened to the podcast before, and those that follow me and know the things that I do, I'm often talking about Adam Neely because he makes great videos. He recently has just done a video analysing the Katy Perry lawsuit. It's worth pointing out that Katy Perry lost that lawsuit. I don't want to ruin the video. I want people to actually go and watch this video. This has only been up for 3 days, and it's got 1.2 million views.
It's not just that, it's number 32 on trending, which means people who maybe even aren't from a musical or music business background are clearly watching this.
Yes.
And his explanation is technical, but absolutely understandable at any level.
Yes. I would go as far as saying that, I mean, of course Katy Perry's going to appeal.
And I would like to think that Adam Neely's going to be our fucking appeal lawyer.
This will absolutely be used in the appeal.
It should be.
Absolutely be used.
Quite right. And 100% credit to
Yeah.
Adam Neely for being so concise with his point.
The thing I enjoy most about this video is really, at the core, what we have here is it's Adam Neely calling out a musicologist. Right?
Yep.
The person that testified as the musical expert in this case has clearly done it for a payday.
Yep, he's fucked up.
As Adam points out, like, you would never make these arguments that you've made in court under oath. You would never make them in any sort of academic setting because you, to quote Adam, you would be eviscerated by your peers, right? But you can do it in court because you're speaking to people that don't know any better. You are the expert; they can't question you.
Yep.
You were hired by the people that by the prosecution.
Mm-hmm. So Flame, which is he's a Christian rapper, so essentially it's a church.
Yes. So
Infinite
it was
money.
your job to not create, but to present evidence that suited their needs. And yeah, you've absolutely sold musicians down the river for this, because at its very core, just the screenshot, just the thumbnail for Adam's video tells you everything that you need to know about the situation. You can't own the minor scale. The melody in both of these songs is a descending minor scale, not even a full scale, 3 fucking notes.
Yep.
3 notes, right? This is ludicrous because the songs don't have the same chord progression. They don't have the same vocal melodies.
Nope.
They don't have the same themes
Nope.
to them. They're not orchestrated in the same ways.
Nope.
They don't use the same sounds.
Nope.
It's literally being pulled down to an ostinato, a repeating musical phrase in the background, as being the thing that pulls this into copyright infringement. A descending scale. Ba, ba, ba. That's copyrighted now. You can't do that. I know you think that's Free Blind Mice. That's mine now.
Sorry, I won't do it again.
Yeah, don't do it again, because if you do, I want paid. Like,
Right, well, you know what? See if that's the case. Ba, ba, ba is mine. Don't fucking touch it. But that's what's going to go down. That's the route it's going to be, is people are going to think that they can own a musical phrase.
Yeah. Yeah, which... I don't even know, like... Copywriting music is such an interesting subject. It really is an interesting subject, because obviously I do believe that you should be able to copyright music, but as a whole. Yeah, it's a full picture. It's not this melody, because you can take this melody and you can reharmonize it. You can have different chords underneath it that will make those 3 notes sound a completely different way. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like... It's a mess. The entire situation is a mess. It sets a terrifying legal precedent.
Yep.
So Katy Perry absolutely has to appeal this, not just for her own monetary gain, monetary benefit, but this is verging on Corey Taylor territory now. This is for the wider music community.
What we haven't mentioned is it was a $2.8 million court case.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shocking.
The money being wasted on this, never mind what's been won, is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
But like I say, the thing I really enjoy about Adam's video is really at the core of it, what he's doing is he's calling out Todd Decker, the musicologist.
And very well.
That's very much the type of video that I would make, calling out Todd Decker, and I like how Adam can do it in such a non-ragey way. He does it so eloquently.
You know what it's like? Like giving the thumbs down to somebody that's road raging at you.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. Not cool. But making a fun point.
Yeah. So, I think what can we do at this stage? We can't do anything other than point out to you that it's happened. It's worth watching Adam's video on it because it's a great video. All we can do is make enough of a song and dance about this and be riled up about this and tweet about this and stuff, because when the inevitable appeal happens, suddenly Flame's legal team are going to be in a lot more trouble, because they're going to struggle to find any sort of music experts that can undermine the vast tsunami of musical expertise that is coming your way. Rick Beato did a video on this as well. Like,
even Adam's information, its own,
it'd be enough.
Probably
that would absolutely be enough.
The majority of people are going to argue for.
But Adam makes a really good point in the video. He says that he points out that when the court case was filed for, they demanded a jury, right? Demanded a jury, and juries can be misled if
Very
you're not
easily.
an expert in a subject.
Of course.
Like, if it wasn't Todd Decker doing this, if Adam had made this video and just presented this to a jury, again, that would be enough to convince any jury. Of course it would.
Of course, because people that don't understand music theory are going to obviously hear the da 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 and just equate it with the da 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 and go, oh, they're quite similar.
Yeah.
I mean,
but really at its core, you're trying to copyright da 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 da.
Exactly. Like, of course it sounds similar. There's lots of pieces of music that have got staccato notes in them and descending minors. Like, fuck off.
Bad news for you, mate. Flame owns all of those now.
Oh, bastard. Just another thing the Christians have stolen.
Yeah. So, cool. On to our final story.
Aye, so something a bit more fun.
The Boaz.
And something a bit more sceptical for you.
Yeah, I'm super skeptical
Boaz,
about this.
I think it is.
I'm super skeptical about this.
This is
I think we'll just play the whole video.
Aye, go for it. Why not? It's a Kickstarter thing, so we can watch this. And I find it really interesting. Levi...
I do find it interesting.
More sceptical about it going out, was asking about the price, etc. We'll talk about that in a minute.
The creation of music
it's a nice top quality bit of shred.
Adventure. Through an infinite amount of sounds, it grants us freedom unlike any other creative
Proof that he's
form.
noise gate shit.
As guitar players,
Ready for
we
it?
don't want our creativity to be limited.
Oh, ghastly.
So it's the second time we've done this, but the joke you made was...
Do you think when those cartridges don't work, you blow them like Sega cartridges?
Meet the Boaz One, the first truly modular guitar made to unleash your creativity by combining more than 50 guitars into one high-quality guitar.
50 combinations.
How's it possible? Switch
Where's that
cassettes
coming
within
from? 50
without even
combinations?
looking.
I think
Once
they've
you
got
hear
like...
lock, you know you're ready to rock.
I don't know.
There's 3 cartridges.
No, there's more
three
than 3
body
cartridges.
styles.
There's more than 3 cartridges.
Okay.
It just shows you 3 there. You can also change the bridge,
Yep.
which I'm guessing they're going to count as one of those changes.
Yep. I think they'll probably be factoring which pickup you're using as well.
It features a wheel and key that provides you with
It's a
a
flyweight doing it.
self-adjusting system of actions and intonations. You will be able to easily adjust and fine-tune each and every string on its own. The Boaz One also features
Absolutely
3 interchangeable
monstrous.
body options. First option is the sleek wing body for when you want
It annoys
the
me they
minimalist
don't show you how that
look.
pick holder
This
works.
body also features
You just
a
push the
pick
pick in
holder,
it.
so you never have
You
to
don't
worry
see the
about
picks in it.
misplacing your pick.
It doesn't look like it
Second
would hold
option
one
is the
pick
more
though.
advanced and
It looks like quite
beautifully
a...
crafted full body design
Okay.
with a high-end look.
They've not done themselves a favour there, have they? Because if what you're saying is correct, then they're using orange picks.
And if you want the
In an
freedom to
orange
play
pick
on
holder.
No, I think it was like a white tortoise shell or something like that, kind of pearl style. It's quite hard to see.
And my issue is when you put this body on, suddenly it doesn't take you 15 seconds to take the cartridge out and change the pickups.
Whether you're camping,
Yeah.
at the beach with friends, or
But it also
performing
doesn't take
stage
long
show.
for you to disconnect the neck and then
Even
pop
be
that
an
out.
economic solution for guitar students
But I get your
instead
point.
of buying an amplifier to play at home.
And as you said as well, it's quite limiting in terms of being 21 frets.
Yep.
The
What happens
Yeah,
if you want
no
24 like all of us?
interchangeable
advanced bodies also features a strong
Maybe that'll be the
click
next step.
that securely snaps
The
into
built-in
place
stand.
with a click.
I'm into.
We've put
Clever.
a lot of effort into reducing much of the worry about scratches, damages,
I think Aristides need to steal that and put
moisture, and twisted fretboards.
a stand in the back of
And
their
we've done
guitars.
it all without sacrificing any sound quality while remaining
You seen the
very
pick holder there,
affordable.
didn't you?
The Boaz One is made out of highly durable, reinforced
Now you
plastic.
mentioned that
That's right.
you felt there was 2 products for sale here.
Stand by
Really?
it firmly.
Yeah.
My
I'll talk about that in a
vision
sec.
is to change
Cool.
the standard of what expected in the high quality guitars. The Boaz One represents this
I just
vision
want them
by
for Paddy, can I?
offering an endless amount of high quality
Sorry,
sounds
Perry.
with durable, strong body
I mean,
and
actually.
without the need of spending thousands of dollars on numerous guitars.
For all the convenience it would have for travelling, it's
So if you
also
ever wanna
really
be free
fucking
from
ugly.
ever being restricted by your instrument and unlock your full playing potential, get your Boaz One now and explore the infinite
I love
sounds of
kids
a guitar
acting.
that changes with you.
I love the dad ignoring the kids to play guitar.
It's this kid on the side, like, doing everything in his power to pretend he gives a fuck,
As he
but
steals it
failing
forever.
miserably. So yeah, there we go. The Boaz.
Boak.
They have made a lot of money.
That's went up since we last looked.
Almost $200,000 from just 500 backers.
Yep, and it's still got 54 days to go. And
So
the,
what is
the goal
that?
was what, 17,000?
Bring us up. What is that?
In terms of what, dollars?
No,
Or
in terms
like
of
general
money,
average?
money per person.
Good question.
Okay, so yeah, an average pledge of $370, which
Pounds?
I mean for
£370
pounds, yeah. So yeah, I guess for a guitar, that's not that bad. So you like it?
I think it's a clever idea, and I think for what we were talking about, the pricing strategy, or the pricing of the tiers on it, they're reasonable for something that is a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I mean, this knocks something like the Firebird X out of the water, you know,
Without trying.
just from a perspective of like a beginner's guitar, like because this is plastic, and he made that point. This is plastic, so when you look at the prices on it, it's totally reflected in that $299 for an early bird version of it, which is relatively cheap for what it is, and I'm sure that at that they're getting a decent. There's a decent margin for them. There needs to be some sort of margin for them on that, and you can add bits. $90 for the full body, $150 for the pay. So it becomes expensive.
Only if you want to buy all the parts though, and you have like a fully modular system. But that'd be the same for anything you would buy modular. You wouldn't be angry at Sonos for wanting to buy all their speakers.
No, sure. I'm not angry at them for it. I'll be clear. I'm not angry. I'm just saying that if you were to buy this and get the guitar with the wing body and one module,
Yeah.
and the plastic fixed bridge, then you don't really have a modular guitar because you don't have any modules. You've got something that does one thing.
And not only if you plan not to buy any further parts, or they're not going to manufacture them.
Well, if you were going to buy them at a later point, I would imagine you'll also pay more than these prices that you're adding onto the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
You'd be paying full retail price if you were to buy them later. So you like,
but it doesn't change it being modular. I know what you're saying. Like it's not functionally modular at that point, but
what I'm saying is, if you buy this without any of the modular things, what you have is a guitar.
yes.
So is it of huge value for $300 for a guitar? Maybe. When you start looking at the slightly more expensive ones, where you're getting more things, the thing that really interested me is you can come down to the really expensive ones. Yeah, $2,500, right? That gets you 10 of these things.
Yep.
But by the looks of things, let's have a look. Advanced guitar. Yeah, really interestingly, it's all early bird bundles. So you'd spend $2,500 on, the guitar, the wings, and 10 modules, rather than being able to buy 10 guitars with all of the modules. You're going to need to buy all of those modules individually.
Well, when you buy the 10 guitars, you can get a mixture of modules. But it would only be a problem if you're using all 10 guitars at the one time, which I'd imagine would be the point.
With all modules.
Would be the point.
Yeah, cool. Fair enough. I hate it when they do things like this.
Aye, because it's just pointless. It's
James Burton, cool. Yeah, he sat down and played your guitar once.
Yep, at like NAMM in a booth randomly. These aren't famous people playing your guitar. It's just people that have been interested in it, which is fine.
Yes,
but don't push it as it's some sort of endorsement. It's not. This person hasn't turned around and said, "These are incredible and I need one."
Yeah,
they've played on at your booth and went, "Oh,"
being polite. Yeah,
maybe they did fucking love it, but that's their place to say, not yours to imply.
Bingo. Yeah. So I like to do the kind of the game, like let's place our bets on whether or not this will actually come to fruition. I say this because I follow like Danny Libetstein on YouTube. He does, I'm sure it's Danny Libetstein that does Slopes Game Room. Who the hell does Kickstarter Scammers? Larry Bundy Jr.? Someone like that. Kickstarter Scammers.
Was this the one that done the big thing about the solar highways and all that?
That's Thunderfoot.
Is it?
Yeah, but
I haven't watched many videos like this.
There are numerous videos out there showcasing really interesting tech things that appear on Kickstarter and ultimately never release because of whatever reason. People run out of money. This could very, very, very easily happen here. Or it could come out. We'll see.
I think it'll come out. I have a feeling that, given it's not all proprietary parts, you saw some brand names on there, at least the pickups, Seymour Duncan, etc. I would think there's a chance this is going to come out, especially the amount of... They weren't asking a ridiculous amount for the gold.
True.
They were only asking enough pretty much to get some out.
Oh, that's the point. I think if they'd only got the 16,000, there's no chance this would come out. No chance this would come out. I'm going to end up spending more than that building a fucking studio.
Yeah, but for them to have those guitars already there and people playing them, they must already have the plastic moulds or whatever machining they need to build them.
16,000 actually worries me. That's laughably naive. That's not even enough money for one person to work on it.
But maybe this person isn't concerned about it. I get the impression maybe I'm totally on the wrong end of the stick. I have a feeling that the person who has built this is an engineer, has made their money elsewhere, and this is a labour of love. This is the thing they've done when they went home at night for work and went, cool, this is going to be my legacy as far as I'm concerned. And they're just asking for the money to get those initial runs done. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm being a bit overly gracious here.
I don't like innovations. I don't like innovations. I do like innovations. Of course I like innovations, but I don't like innovations that are unique to one company. So you mind the Floyd Rose speed loader. You know? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, what happens when this company inevitably stops manufacturing parts?
Okay.
There's a longevity issue with this for me. What happens when blowing on the cartridge stops working? I wonder how much long-term life there is in something like this. And you see that with whenever a guitar company comes out with a unique idea, you know, like, here's your Gibson robot tuners. Oh, the battery's gubbed and it's fucked now. Cool. Now you need to replace the machine heads to have a functional guitar. Like, it's not what you want. I'm just going to sit here and go, meh. We actually meant to bring this up on the podcast just recently, and a better idea. You know what I'm going to bring up, don't you?
No. Let's see what Levi's got in the vault. Ah, yes. I don't think that's a better idea.
No?
No, I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's better. I think it's just a different implementation of the same concept.
I mean,
because I think it's going to be a much more expensive scenario.
Well, for starters, it looks like a guitar. So this thing for those people that are not watching but listening, it's a modular pickup system where the pickups seem to be on some sort of roller system, and there's a switch on the guitar that you can use that will then rotate the pickup into a different pickup.
Yep.
So you could go from a single coil to a humbucker.
We'll call them barrels.
Yeah.
So there's 3 pickups on the barrel. So
yes.
It's a single size humbucker, a overwound Strat style neck, and a vintage style taily neck. Right?
Yeah.
On one barrel.
Yeah.
And you have a physical roller switch that turns that.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea, but again, more expensive, I think. Definitely much more expensive to manufacture.
Yes.
Again, you're talking about proprietary parts. What happens when they inevitably stop selling them?
Absolutely, yeah. Which is why I'd never touch anything like that.
Who's going to be allowed to or registered as the primary fixer or
who's going to be willing to fix them? Like, look, I've got a guitar with True Temperament frets on it, right? I know that if I take that to most luthiers are going to go, I don't want to touch that. Don't know what I'm doing with it. Or the Evertune bridge.
Yes.
Like, a lot of guys, I don't know how this works. So we can only hope. Ultimately, Bose, I don't fucking know. I don't care. I think they're just going to be so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. You might see a lot of people posting about this, but this is one that people are going to have forgotten about.
See, I didn't see it posted until you put it up. That gives me some concerns. So we'll just need to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So I think that's us. That is us done. We have wrapped another episode. Obviously, towards the end, we should say a big thank you. You do it.
Big thank you to Ormsby Guitars, straight out of Australia. Beautiful, beautiful equipment. I can't wait to see how Run 11 comes out in the flesh. I think the Sparkle is going to win you over.
You think?
Or the Crackle, sorry. I think it will.
Well, the only way it'd win me over is if we got one in person, so you'll just have to get one.
I'll just have to.
Yeah.
Hard life.
Oh, no.
I know, seriousness, sorry, I have been thinking about trying to get something with standard scale from them, but I think I want a standard scale hype. Anyway, check them out. Great guitars, straight from Australia. The GTR and the GTX runs. GTX isn't out just yet. GTR runs coming from Korea. Very, very well made. Very looked after. QC's fantastic. Specs great. You've got all custom hardware. You've got their own pickups. Generally, I think they're mostly bolt-ons. The most recent ones I've seen are neck through or set neck of the hypes. If not neck through. Just incredible guitars. Great finishes. I love mine. I don't know what more to say, really.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to getting my one of a kind.
I'm jealous of yours, I'm not going to lie.
I know. Yeah, so thanks very much, Perry. And for everyone else that is watching, listening, whatever you're doing, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, give us your comments and suggestions and feedback. And, we're always happy to engage with you guys. We actually quite enjoy it. I'm sitting here looking incredible. Like I screamed, "Oh no," during the middle of that because something just occurred to me. And it was very difficult for me to focus. And I'm going to close the episode with this, mate. When you're really tired.
Yep.
You do stupid things.
Yes.
I bought a Spamp.
You did.
I bought a Spamp.
You did.
Can't wait to see what happens with that. So until next time.
Bye, Spampers.